Those are the scenes in Chile this morning as they brace for an Antarctic tsunami with coastal evacuations underway, as this video shows you, after they had a 7.5 magnitude earthquake. And they've also had a couple of 6 pluses right after that as aftershocks, and they're still happening. So officials fear a huge tsunami could be heading for Chile, up to 9 feet in height from what I've been reading in the details, after that 7.5 magnitude struck off the coast of Argentina. The warning came after the quake struck at about 124 miles south of Puerto Williams, near Chile's southern tip, at 9 a.m. local time. According to the United States Geological Survey, the quake struck at a depth of 10 kilometers, with 4 more smaller aftershocks being recorded in the region shortly after. Yeah, and a couple of them were in the 6 range. You see here we had 6.4, 6.6, and so multiple aftershocks of magnitude 6 plus being recorded off the coast of Argentina. So the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said that Chile risks facing tsunami waves that could be up to 9 feet tall, while Antarctica faces potential waves of up to 3 feet. So Chile's Hydrographic and Oceanographic Service estimated that waves will reach bases in Antarctica and cities in Chile's extreme south in the coming hours. Chilean Disaster Authority said the coastal area of the Magallanes region in southern Chile would have to be evacuated due to the tsunami risk. Video footage from the region showed civilians slowly making their way out of the danger zone, as I just showed you at the beginning of the video here. And so the earthquake all over the world, earthquakes, I should say, all over the world continue. Earthquakes in diverse places, indeed. So we can see still shots now of the evacuations. And a picture of the city itself, Puerto Williams. And so we'll just have to keep our eyes on these things, guys, because with all the solar storms that are still incoming, as of today even, a couple of YouTube channels have said expect a mega quake at some point. They expect that to happen. So, wow, prayed up and prepped up. That's all we can do at this point. It's just boom, one thing after another, right? And then we have Pakistan. They're ordering their citizens to have 2 months worth of food and water for war with India. Because as we know, there's been lots of rumors of wars, tensions between the nuclear powers, India and Pakistan, are on the verge of going to war. Pakistani officials, as we know, have claimed that military action against their country is imminent, and Islamabad is ready to face the mounting threats. So here we go. Another major armed conflict is primed to escalate and break loose very soon between the nuclear powers, India and Pakistan, two neighboring countries that have a history of going to war with each other. The two countries have fired retaliatory shots at each other, and peace treaties have collapsed, leading other nations to worry this may lead to yet another escalation that disrupts trade. So last week, radical jihadist Muslims launched a terrorist attack in India's Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, resulting in the execution of 26 people, leading to India to retaliate and end pacts with Pakistan. And so, yes, that's what's happening. They've actually ended the water treaty with Pakistan, to which Pakistan responded, that's an act of war, because that would cut off 80% of their fresh water supply, which essentially that's what India has already done. So following this terrorist attack, this latest one, the two countries took sweeping measures to further downgrade diplomatic and trade ties. New Delhi reduced the staff at the Pakistani High Commission, expelling Pakistani diplomats and closing its land border. It also suspended visa services for Pakistani nationals and advised Indian citizens in Pakistan to promptly return home. We've already covered most of this. And we also talked about the Indus Waters Treaty. For the first time in 6 decades, India has suspended it, which allows the two countries to share the waters of the Indus River system. New Delhi said the measures will remain in effect until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism. So Islamabad has denied it had any involvement in the Kashmir attack. It issued a reciprocal response to India's measures on Thursday, suspending key bilateral agreements and cross-border routes, closing its airspace to all Indian-owned or operated airlines. India has also closed its airspace to Pakistani airlines 1 week after Islamabad did so. And so, like I said, Islamabad or Pakistan was especially outraged over India's unilateral suspension of the water treaty, warning that if India follows through on the threat to block the rivers, it would take that as an act of war. Well, they've already blocked up one of the dams for sure. We saw that this past week. And then, of course, over this past week, the Indian Army said Pakistani troops have been firing along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, prompting retaliation. No casualties have been reported so far in the de facto border, but despite the tensions among civilians in the border areas. Meanwhile, Pakistani officials claim that military action against their country is imminent, and Islamabad is ready to face the mounting threats. And they said in other statements, they've said they've got all their 130 some nuclear warheads pointed at India. Other nations are calling for de-escalation. China, a trading partner with fellow BRICS member India and Pakistan, has urged the two to ease tensions and find a peaceful resolution, while hesitating to become an active participant in this conflict. Yes, China has interests on both sides, but they have a rivalry, a big one, with India as well. So keeping a check on India through Pakistan has been part of China's strategy as well. But it appears China's tipped its hat towards Pakistan more so than India. And so this is what's been said. Although China strongly condemned the attack in Hologram, it offered no assistance to India and did not accept New Delhi's interpretation of the events. Instead of embracing the allegations linking Pakistan with the attack, Beijing supported the Pakistani government's call for a swift and fair investigation. And then U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also urged for a de-escalation, but tipped his hat, or his hat towards India's defense by expressing support to India in combating terrorism, and pressed Pakistan to cooperate in an investigation of the terrorist attack. And so back and forth it all goes. And so, like the author says here, Matthew 24:6, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So Matthew 24:6, and he's going all the way through 8 here. But yes, this is not the beginning of sorrows, guys. I'd say we're getting towards the end of them, but nonetheless, this is more rumors of war and also war. So remember, it says wars and rumors of war. So it's not just rumors. And they're getting closer and closer to fighting, as I just showed you. When Pakistan orders their citizens to have 2 months' worth of food and water for war with India, that's getting serious. Pakistan has ordered citizens living on the border with India to have 2 months' supply of food and water due to the possibility of war. For 2 weeks now, Pakistan and India have been openly moving troops, tanks, artillery, and attack aircraft into positions for war. Navies too, by the way. Notice where their citizens' well-being came into the picture? Last. Imagine that. Remember, they look out upon all of us around the world. All of us, quote-unquote regular people as useless eaters. So, of course, they're going to tell us last, or the citizens last. And, of course, this is long after the military moves were already done. Here's the official breaking news from Pakistan's government that they announced on television. And Hal has some snide remarks in regards to preparation and so on, if you'd like to read those. I'll put the links up for all this, as always. And then as we move over to China, we have apparently widespread unrest in China over U.S. tariff layoffs, unpaid wages being a big part of it, and massive protests. I've seen this on Telegram over the last couple of days. So widespread unrest has erupted across China as President Trump's steep tariffs devastate the nation's export-driven economy, triggering factory closures, unpaid wages, and massive protests by workers, according to the Daily Caller. Riots and mass protests are spreading across China as economic fallout from Trump's tariff pushes the nation's manufacturing sector to the brink, shuttering factories and leaving millions of workers without pay. From industrial zones near Shanghai to the remote edges of Inner Mongolia, workers have taken to the streets demanding back pay and denouncing mass layoffs. The unrest comes amid a sharp drop in Chinese export orders. Yeah, whenever massive economic unrest comes to the world, what happens? World War. It always follows. It always does, right? World War II followed these same types of paths, guys. The Wall Street Journal reports that Huang Deming, a garment exporter in southern China, has already laid off 30% of his staff after losing 3 U.S. clients. Qing Zikao, a textile factory manager, described cutthroat conditions in the domestic market. To be frank, personally speaking, All we can do is go out and look for new opportunities, Kuyan told the journal. The labor unrest mirrors the protest in 2022 during President Xi Jinping's strict COVID-19 lockdowns. At the time, government forces suppressed demonstrations through violent crackdowns. Analysts expect similar responses now as economic instability threatens the regime's control. Indeed, it does. So it's not just those of us here in the US that'll be hurting from all these trade wars. It'll be the whole world, essentially, but it's also China, as you can see. And of course, they're doing their best to suppress that news in China, like we always do. But it's happening, I have no doubt. And so, let's see what else we got here today. Something else I wanted to show you. I know there is. I got to find it, though. Here we go from the Daily Mail. Zelle is down across the U.S., leaving thousands unable to send money. So customers of several banks, including TD Bank, as well as the popular cash transferring service Zelle, are unable to log into their accounts or send payments. According to Down Detector, a website that monitors online outages, the issues began around 8 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. Other banks affected by this glitch include, but are not limited to, Ally Bank, Bank of America, NBT Bank, Flagstar Bank, Cadence Bank, Webster Bank, Park National Bank, and Northwest Bank. Thankfully, it wasn't my bank. I got cash today just fine out of the ATM. Praise the Lord for that. But I'm with a credit union, not a major bank. But in a statement given to the dailymail.com, a Zelle spokesperson said, "We're aware that certain Zelle users at some financial institutions are not able to use Zelle at this time." They said that the situation involves an independent third party that provides services to particular financial institutions. We are working diligently with our partners to resolve this matter as soon as we can. Zelle users may see transactions marked as payment pending in the meantime. We will share updates as more information becomes available. A TD Bank representative said on X that its technical support team is aware of the issue and was working diligently to resolve it. A representative from Webster Bank told local New York City news station Pix 11 that the issues appeared to be due to a third-party vendor. They had a data center incident apparently that was impacting Webster and other banks. And so the more electronic we go and the less paper and less cash is used, the more problems like this are going to occur. No matter what they say. They can talk about, oh, we have redundant security and blah, 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 and this stuff is still going to continue to happen. It still will continue to happen. So the timing of this outage has sparked outrage on social media, as many people use Zelle to pay the rent and other bills at the beginning of each month. Since 2017, Zelle has become the go-to peer-to-peer payment system in the country, even as they compete with rivals like Venmo and Cash App. Last year, Zelle processed over $1 trillion in payments across 3.6 billion different banking transactions. Wow, that's huge. I've never used Zelle myself, but a lot of people do, as you can see. So I'll let you read the rest on your own. I'll put the links up like I always do. And don't forget, don'tspeaknews.com is home base for all that we do. I put a lot of news here that we can't speak about anywhere else. I also put up a new article here yesterday afternoon about Radio Liberty, letting the cat out of the bag regarding the EU's game plan for Ukraine. If you'd like to read that, this is a guest post by Andrew Korybiko, one of the more popular guest authors here on the website, and more about Trump's executive order that hands military power to local cops, and over 2,500 stories, videos, pictures, graphs, and so on that you can see here at the website, don'tspeaknews.com. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, there's a subscription box at the bottom of every article. You'll also see one pop up as you're reading an article, but just one. But you can click on this tab here, type in your email, click on subscribe, and you're in. And then Don't Speak News at Proton Mail is where you contact me if you'd like to send me links about something. And channel support's right here. If you'd like to support us, we are listener supported only. As you can see, there's no ads on the website. We're not monetized on YouTube. And so to support us, all the links to do so are underneath that tab right here. And thank you so much for that. We couldn't do this without you. And then Rumble, BitChute, Telegram, all the places to find us are right here, including YouTube, which will be there for as long as we can be, I guess. And that's anyone's guess. We've already lost 2 channels. Both of them had 15,000 plus subscribers too. And then poof, down they go. Anyway, those are the places you can find us currently on the interwebs. And that will be it for now. God bless, take care. Johnny Storm, Don't Speak News.